Okay, so I wasn't gonna talk about this episode. I wasn't gonna talk about this episode again because Suckers is real sensitive when it comes to this episode. Like I literally said I liked this episode more than five. I like some stuff that they did with Bill. Like Suckers was still trying to tell me, no, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong. Like I've never, bro, the Last of Us community fan base has become like the most either either you love it or hate it fan base I've quite possibly ever have seen. Like since Last of Us 2, there is no in between. You either like it or you hate it. You can't critique it. If you critique it, you hate it. This article that came out a day or two ago, I thought to be very interesting. It says right here, the Last of Us director says he wanted to trick viewers into watching episode 3's gay romance. The episode was directed by Peter Hoar. I think Craig Mazin was the executive producer and he wrote the episode, but Peter was the one that directed it. Who is known for his work on Channel 4's LGBT plus miniseries It's a Sin. Speaking to Inverse about the third episode of The Last of Us, Hoar said, sometimes you have to sort of trick the rest of the world into watching these things before they're like, oh my God, it was two guys. I just realized. I think then they might understand that it's all real. It's just the same love. Hoar, who is also gay, discussed how the sexuality of Offerman's character Bill was explored in the episode. Going into this episode, I wasn't even shocked, but I seen like a lot of people were shocked that they did this. But if you remember, before this episode aired, they always showed the preview of the next week's episode. And when they showed that Frank was going to be in this episode and he was going to be talking to Bill, I was like, oh, they're going in that direction to where they explore the relationship that Bill and Frank had, which was not in the game, which I was fine with. The thing that shocked me was I didn't think that they were going to spend an entire episode on just that, because the pacing of this show has just been so like here, because there's only 9 episodes. But I've seen a lot of people in my comments, like they were shocked that they like explored that so deeply. And I was like, what the frick did you suckers expect? Like, what did you suckers expect? Nothing that happened in that episode really shocked me. I just, again, didn't think that they would spend that long with it. But I seen a lot of people like leaving bro, there was one comment that had me in stitches. This man said, yo, I can't believe they reduced Bill to giggling on his knees while eating strawberry. Bro, that joke had me laughing for a good 3 to 4 minutes. I was cracking up. But yeah, a lot of people didn't really expect that. But when you go back to the title of this, The Last of Us director says he wanted to trick viewers into watching episode 3's gay romance. If you were a fan of the game, I feel like most people that were fans of the game knew that Bill was gay. They did it in a great way in the game. It was like subtle. You had to kind of catch it. So some people still didn't even like realize that, wait, Bill's gay. But if you was paying attention in the game, you know that Bill's gay. Ellie is also gay. So we're gonna eventually get that whole Left Behind, I'm sure, episode between Ellie and Riley. They're also going to explore that too. I don't know if they're going to spend an entire episode with that like they did with Bill, but that is also coming. So if you are a fan of the game, and I feel like most people that are watching this show know what happens in the game, why would you have to trick us if we already, knew that Bill was gay? I think this was more so for the newcomers of this series, tricking them into watching a gay episode. I personally said in my review that I like the way they did Bill in this show more than they did Tess. I feel like they butchered Tess. At least Bill in this show, he got closure that he never got in Last of Us. Like in Last of Us, like once you guys split up, you never hear from Bill again. He's not in Last of Us 2. You don't know like what Bill's ending to his story is. At least in the show, they gave him closure. So I actually liked more so what they did with Bill than Tess. You know, but still suckers got on me because I had some critiques of the episode. So you had people that were fans of the game that were still shocked of what they did with Bill in this episode. And of course, newcomers to the series that has no idea what happens in the game, they're like, oh, so this must be like, you know, this is what this is about. So I don't know. It's just another one of those things to where like you had people saying that, oh, this is one of the greatest television episodes that I've seen, and we'll never see something like this again. Like, bro, we've seen. Someone had made a great point. Someone had left a comment saying, if you swap out Frank with a female, this is just an average love story. We've literally seen gay love stories done better than in this show. Like, all of a sudden, people are saying, oh, this... well, no, we've never seen something like this. Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have, and we've seen it done better. So, again, it's like, I feel like Last of Us is in a place right now to where, like, bro, the damn show is almost as polarizing, if not more, than Last of Us 2. If you go back to Last of Us 1, Last of Us 1, like, it was kind of, there really was no split crowd. It was just like, oh my God, this junk is a masterpiece. We all like loved it, right? Last of Us really didn't start to have like this split fan base until 2 came out. And it kind of seems like that's kind of what they're trying to do with the show. Like, have it be like as polarizing as Last of Us 2 was, because you have a lot of people that swear by this show, that this show is a masterpiece. So far, it's one of the greatest oh my, I've seen someone say, and this is how I know people are overhyping this show. You cannot convince me otherwise. Literally, I've seen people say that this show is, you know, up there with like the likes of Breaking Bad and game. Like, I'm just like, what are you like, bro? That is to even think that is disrespectful as all hell. Breaking Bad, universally known as one of the greatest television shows ever made. We're 3 episodes in, and now suckers is putting that junk up there with the likes of that. And I seen people say freaking Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and all this type of stuff. Like, bro, the D-writing for this show is insane. I'm not saying that people can't enjoy the show. If you enjoy the show, enjoy the show. Hell, I'm still enjoying this show for what it is. But don't come at me because I have critiques of this show and I don't see it as the masterpiece that you do. I'm not saying that it can't be a masterpiece to you. I have a problem when people are trying to get on what I think of the show and trying to change my view of the show. Don't do that, because then I'm gonna do the same thing and be like, no, this is why you're wrong. Like, that's really where my stance is. If you think this show is a masterpiece and is great and is one of the greatest TV shows of all time, okay, do that. But if I have a different opinion, do not then attack me and try to change my views to match yours. That's when we gonna have a problem. So I mean, yeah, bro. I honestly, being a last bro, being a last, it's just, I remember when Last of Us started, and you know, it wasn't always like this. Like, the fan base for Last of Us, it was not always like this. It really didn't start to get like this until Last of Us 2 came out. And now you add this show in with it. I feel like, bro, the fan base for Last of Us, and this is not everyone, but the fan base for Last of Us has like become, if you don't praise it, you hate it. If you don't think it's amazing and you don't agree with my views, then you're wrong. You hate the series. I honestly It's been tough being a Last of Us fan these past like 2-3 years because the fan base is so like sensitive and like, oh, you don't agree with me, you just a hater, shut up, like you talk like all that stuff. Like it wasn't like this at the beginning with Last of Us. And again, I literally said I enjoyed episode 3 more than I enjoyed episode 2. Like I gave episode 2 a 5 out of 10 and I gave episode 3 a 6 out of 10. I actually enjoyed episode 3 more and suckers still attacked me. People think that I hate the show because I won't give this joke like a 9 or a 10 on every episode. Still, my favorite episode so far has been 1. I gave that an 8 out of 10. I'm still enjoying this show. This whole like, oh, stop comparing it to like the game. 1 is like, bro, when you're watching something that's based off of the game, you can't just say that and just be like, oh, okay, I'll just throw the game out of the window, I guess. No, like people are going to be, you can't stop it. Like people are going to be comparing the show to the game, just how when the Uncharted movie came out, people were comparing the movie to the game. A lot of people didn't like the movie for Uncharted. It's inevitable. People are going to compare it because that's really all we have to go off of. So it's like it's just so like people are actually making me feel like that I'm complaining when it's like I feel like I have valid like it's crazy how they'll make it like how they'll make you feel like you're in the wrong when like I feel like I have valid critiques of this show right now. But suckers be like, oh, you just nitpicking, just a player of the game if you want to play the game. Like, okay. Okay, so yeah, what do you guys think about, you know, the director himself coming out and saying, yeah, we tried to trick people into watching a gay love story in this episode? What did you guys feel about episode 3? Again, I still enjoyed it for what it was. Hell, I like some stuff that they did with Bill and his character that you didn't see in the game. It's not like I didn't enjoy some of the stuff. I did. But again, you also have that crowd of people that's like, yo, they butchered the hell out of Bill. What do you guys feel about, you know, all this stuff going on, you know, surrounding the talks of the last episode of Last of Us? I've seen people say that they're going to quit watching it. I'm canceling my HBO trial. Well, then you'll go to that next side and they swear up and down like this show has been flawless from start to where we are now. It's split, man. So yeah, y'all leave y'all comments down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see y'all on Monday for the next review, for the next episode. I'm still enjoying the episode. I mean the show. And yeah, until my next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch you boys in my next one, all right?